Pat Hill has had his share of young, talented defensive backs. Corners Therian Fontenot, Richard Marshall, and Marcus McCauley were once inexperienced with boundless possibilities. Same for safeties Tyrone Culver and James Sanders. Those five can be described as NFL players. But how does Pat Hill describe his current secondary?
I like them athletically, but that's probably the youngest group we have.
As it stands now, Hill's top three corners are senior Damon Jenkins and sophomores Damian Owens and A.J. Jefferson, who both played last season as true freshmen.
They need to step up big for us. And, you know, they have Sac State in the opener. Then they got two really, really tough road games in A&M and in Oregon, two atmospheres that will be great for their development and growth, the type of growth we need for them to help take this team to the next level. They're going to have to go down and really perform in those kind of venues. That's what it's all about. And then at the we have a young man named Sherrod Davis. Very rarely do we go out and take a JC player, but we felt we needed one here.
Davis played at Oregon as a freshman before returning home to Southern California to play at Grossmont Junior College. Hill brought the junior in to contribute right away. As the Bulldogs stockpile the secondary to try and recreate their previous success, Hill adds Isaiah Green from Long Beach Poly, who ran a 10-4 at the CIF Finals, second fastest in the state, along with the speedy Jermaine Thomas and J.J. Stallworth.
We feel good about that position. In 2007, it's just really young. The good thing is they're going to be around for a long time, so the development of these guys is good.
The Bulldogs' safeties are two sophomores, Moses Harris and Marvin Haynes, and a freshman in Lauren Bell.
They're big safeties, and they can run pretty well. They've got good speed, good students. I feel real good about the safety position. Young, and we've got some young safeties coming in. We've got Jake Jordy, who's our fourth safety right now, and then we've brought in Philip Thomas out of Bakersfield, who is an outstanding quarterback, who's going to be a safety, and Terrence Dennis, and then Zach. So we've got three more young safeties coming in with three more young corners.
The Zach Hill referred to as his son, who's entering his freshman year. While Hill is excited about the future, the question remains, how will they play this year? Defensive coordinator Dan Brown thinks there's enough pure athleticism to help them while they gain that experience.
They're fast. They got great instincts. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of youth in years, but I think they can make up for it with their speed.
As a redshirt sophomore, Moses Harris is one of the veterans and says the secondary has been working hard to make sure they're prepared. They realize that simply relying on natural ability doesn't cut it anymore.
Our mentality has really changed, and we really stay focused on our technique. We got back to the basics, really working hard. Spending time on our technique and spending time on the scheme, watching a lot more film, and, just staying focused in the weight room.
For a unit that allowed quarterbacks to complete nearly 64% of their passes last season, next season they'll be tested early and often. And Harris knows his young grouping is under pressure to help keep the team in games.
I'd say it's always about the same. I mean, the pressure to win is a lot higher because of the bad season. Everybody wants to see, are the dogs back, are the dogs dead, or what's going on with the dogs. So, of course, it's a little bit more pressure this season.
While Texas A&M and Oregon will be early tests of environment, games with Hawaii and New Mexico State may be more telling. While known for a hostile environment, A&M averaged less than 200 yards passing per game last season, and Oregon's Dennis Dixon threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Marcus McCauley had high hopes for last season and struggled. His talent is so great, though, that it was a sure thing that he'd be drafted, eventually going to the Minnesota Vikings. His departure gives way for a fresh start. The question is, will that fresh start this year? These are the dog days of summer.